everybody, welcome back to the Famous Girl TV, where you will find that I'm not famous, but I talk about people who are. And today I want to talk about none other than, the FTC is suing Ticketmaster and Live Nation. Yikes. So if you didn't already know, FTC stands for Federal Trade Commission. Keyword, federal. So, to make a long story short, Rolling Stone published an article, and the name of this article is titled Live Nation and Ticketmaster Sued for Working with Scalpers to Make Millions on Resale Tickets. You will never believe one of the artists who is accused of doing that very thing. You guys ready for it? You ready? Beyonce. Yeah, that's right. Beyonce knows. Y'all queen, Beyonce, is getting accused of fraud. So before I give my full commentary and I add my 2 cents, I'm going to read this article in its entirety. A new Federal Trade Commission complaint claims the company lets brokers buy more tickets than they're allowed so they can be resold on Ticketmaster's own platform at steep markups. Live Nation and Ticketmaster have been accused of allowing scalpers to hoover up millions of tickets so they can be resold on Ticketmaster's own resale platforms at a steep markup to customers. A new lawsuit brought by the Federal Trade Commission in 7 states accuses the country's biggest concert promoter and ticketing website of engaging in 3 illegal practices that injure artists, cause consumers to pay significantly more event tickets, and benefit defendants' bottom line. The first 2 are allegedly hiding fees from customers until they check out, a tactic described as a bait and switch approach to advertising prices, and allegedly allowing ticket brokers to exceed the limits artists placed on the number of tickets people are allowed to purchase at once. The third accusation is arguably the most significant, with the FTC accusing Ticketmaster and Live Nation of earning hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue by systematically violating the BOTS, which is Better Online Ticket Sales Act. That law, as the suit notes, makes it illegal to sell tickets purchased in circumvention of measures used to enforce ticket purchase limits or other purchasing rules. Rather than enforce these rules, the suit alleges Live Nation and Ticketmaster knowingly allow and in fact even encourage brokers to use multiple Ticketmaster accounts to circumvent Ticketmaster's own security measures and access control systems so that those same brokers can list the unlawfully purchased tickets on defendants' resale marketplaces. This, the FTC continues, drives up the price of tickets and leaves ordinary fans unable to access the finite pool of tickets available at their face value. The FTC also alleges that this effectively allows Live Nation and Ticketmaster to triple dip on ticket fees, ranking in money. First, when brokers originally purchase tickets, then when those same brokers relist those tickets, and then lastly, when consumers purchase those relisted tickets. In a statement, FTC Chairman Andrew N. Ferguson highlighted the executive order President Donald Trump signed in March, which stated that the FTC must work with the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to make sure ticket resellers are following competition laws, that scalpers are in compliance with IRS rules, and that the BOTS Act is enforced to keep scalpers from using computer programs to scoop up tickets. Ferguson said the order was meant to protect Americans from being ripped off when they buy tickets to live events, adding, American live entertainment is the best in the world and should be accessible to all of us. It should not cost an arm and a leg to take the family to a baseball game or attend your favorite musician's show. The Trump-Vance FTC is working hard to ensure that fans have a shot at buying fair-priced tickets, and today's lawsuit is a monumental step in that direction. A representative for Live Nation did not immediately return Rolling Stone's request for comment. In a statement, Stephen Parker, executive director of the National Independent Venue Association, praised the lawsuit, saying it gave credibility to what fans, artists, and independent stages have believed for years. Live Nation and Ticketmaster exploit their dominance, not just in concert promotion and primary ticketing, but in the resale market as well. He continued, "This is not just bad business, it is deception and abuse of monopoly power by turning a blind eye to scalpers, even giving them the tools to bypass limits and harvest tickets. Live Nation has acted as the promoter, the primary ticket seller, the artist manager, and the scalper." The FTC's lawsuit significantly compounds Live Nation's troubles with the federal government after federal prosecutors filed a massive antitrust lawsuit against the company in May 2024. That case is ongoing, with the judge rejecting Live Nation Ticketmaster's bid to dismiss a court element of the DOJ's case this past spring. The suit goes into great detail about Ticketmaster's alleged preference for hiding fees from listed ticket prices. It cites internal documents going back to at least 2014 that show Live Nation and Ticketmaster consistently chose to continue obscuring the true price of tickets after internal test results showed that accurate, transparent pricing would reduce sales. The FTC claims it wasn't until this past May that the company announced their intention to incorporate fees into listed ticket prices. This was well into the agency's investigation, the suit notes, and right before a new rule designed to combat unfair or deceptive fees went into effect. As for Live Nation Ticketmaster's alleged relationship with brokers and scalpers, the suit says the company has long known about specific brokers that routinely create hundreds or thousands of Ticketmaster accounts to acquire tickets en masse. The complaint cites an email that a Ticketmaster engineer sent an executive in 2018 in which the engineer suggested the company routinely chooses to turn a blind eye to broker circumvention of ticket limits. The email reads in part, "We have a guy that hires 1,000 college kids to have each buy the ticket limit of 8, giving him 8,000 tickets to resell. Then we have a guy who creates 1,000 fake accounts and uses each to buy the ticket limit of 8, giving him 8,000 tickets to resell. We say the former is legit and call him a broker, while the latter is breaking the rules and is a scalper. But from the fan perspective, we end up with one guy reselling 8,000 tickets." Also in the suit is a chart that lists 5 brokers that allegedly controlled 6,345 Ticketmaster accounts and possessed 246,407 concert tickets to 2,594 events. Among them is Key Investment Group, which the FTC accused last month of violating the Bots Act in a separate lawsuit. The FTC further alleges that Ticketmaster provides technological support for brokers who exceed ticket limits to list tickets for resale by giving them access to a software platform called Trade Desk. Trade Desk allows brokers to aggregate tickets purchased from multiple Ticketmaster accounts into a single interface for simpler resale management, the suit reads, and it's only available to high volume brokers. While Live Nation Ticketmaster has publicly advocated for more enforcement of the Bots Act, which was passed in 2016, the suit alleges that the company has not only made millions off tickets they know were purchased unlawfully, but also declined to use tools that would prevent brokers from evading ticket limits because doing so would decrease their revenue. For instance, the suit notes that internal documents highlighted a broker who in 2018 broke the rules on creating loads of fake accounts. The next year, the same broker was flagged for using the mass buyer model. Still, this violative conduct allegedly continued into 2023 and 2024, with the broker retaining access to the Trade Desk software. This broker, the suit claims, eventually purchased over 9,000 tickets on Ticketmaster to one night of Beyonce's Renaissance tour, and Ticketmaster sold over 2,500 of those tickets on the resale market. It then used 1,075 Ticketmaster accounts to purchase 8,518 tickets on Ticketmaster to a single Travis Scott concert in 2024, and Ticketmaster offered and sold 1,149 of these tickets on the resale market. The ticket purchasing limit at that point of sale for both of these events was 8. So why is this significant? This is significant because Jay-Z signed a 10-year deal with Live Nation back in 2017 worth $200 million, and that deal included a partnership that would cover his worldwide touring. But not only that, Rock Nation is also a subsidiary of Live Nation. Bet you didn't know that. Google AI says Live Nation owns more than 50% of Rock Nation, but operates as a joint venture. So the fact that Live Nation owns over half of Rock Nation, there is no way that Live Nation is being implicated for fraud the way that they are, and Rock Nation stays completely clean. There's no way that's possible. And now you have the FTC explicitly stating that Beyonce used bots for her Renaissance tour, that a lot of those ticket sales were fraudulent. That's what this is saying right here. And it makes me wonder, maybe could Jay-Z have had something to do with this? I mean, he was the one that had a $200 million touring deal with Live Nation. And I haven't seen Jay-Z do any of his own tours unless I'm missing something. I mean, hasn't he only gone on tour with Beyonce? Because he's not headlining his own stuff. And you know, Jay-Z is supposed to be this great businessman. He's the one that penned this deal with Live Nation. He's the one that had this partnership with Live Nation. So I don't know. I'm just looking at it like, could he be the reason why this is coming up now in this lawsuit? And the reason why I'm questioning Sean Carter is because Beyonce has worked so hard for this. Like, she has put in the work, and she's just extremely talented, and she's serious about her craft, and she's a true artist. And I just really would hate to see everything that she has worked for go down the fucking drain because of that man. I really would hate to see that. Because I don't think I've ever really seen Beyonce ever get outright exposed for fraud or anything like that. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't believe Beyonce has ever been called out for fraud on a grand scale like this. I've never heard of this from Beyonce. So this is a really bad look. And I did see a lot of fans on social media saying like, bro, if this was Taylor, like if Taylor Swift got exposed by the FTC for using bots to buy up tickets and selling stuff to resellers, like, I don't think we would hear the end of it. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. I think that if it were Taylor Swift caught in a scheme like this, I think it would be a much bigger deal. So it's kind of interesting to see like how this information has come out, and it's virtually just gone under the rug. Like nobody's really talking about it. And I just think that's crazy because Beyonce getting accused of fraud is like, I'm having a hard time even wrapping my head around this shit because like I said, Beyonce is she's a legend. She's an icon. And she's just worked so hard her entire life. Like she's been working for this. And, you know, this is her legacy. And for the FTC to come out and be like, yeah, well, we have, you know, information that you guys were faking ticket sales. I mean, that's just like, wow. What a slap in the fucking face. And I gotta be honest, I think that if they have intelligence about this fraudulent activity going on back in 2023, which was only 2 years ago during the Renaissance tour, I think it's probably safe to assume that maybe the same thing was going on during the Cowboy Carter tour, maybe? Because I'm just going to come out and say it. At the top of this year, when the Cowboy Carter tour was announced and those tickets went on sale, there were a lot of conflicting reports. Like you had some outlets reporting like, hey, these tickets are not selling like that. The fans are pissed because the tickets were like double the price of what her last tour was. And yeah, the tickets just weren't doing too well. But then you would have other outlets coming out saying No, her stuff is selling out. Cowboy Carter is one of the best selling tours of the year. So I just remember feeling confused. Like when the Cowboy Carter tour was announced, I just remember feeling very confused about the reports. And yeah, the FTC coming out and saying bots were buying tickets, that kind of like confirms my suspicions a little bit that maybe there wasn't something quite right there. Now, as far as I know, the FTC hasn't said anything specifically about Cowboy Carter yet, but I do believe that they probably have some more information on that. And I think that if Jay-Z had anything to do with this on the Renaissance tour, then I would not be surprised if this wasn't just happening for Beyonce, and if maybe this was happening for some of Jay-Z's other artists, maybe like Megan Thee Stallion. Because if you don't remember, Megan Thee Stallion did go on tour last summer, and similar to the Cowboy Carter tour, there were a lot of conflicting reports about Megan Thee Stallion's ticket sales. You had a lot of outlets reporting and saying that Megan was selling out, that pretty much almost all her shows sold out. And, she did an arena tour. But when you looked at the footage recorded by fans at the concert venue, I mean, there were empty seats everywhere. Like they had seats covered with tarp, like trying to hide the empty seats. And my thing is like, how are all of these outlets reporting that Megan is sold out, saying that all her tickets are sold out, but you have sections with empty seats being covered in tarp? And I will speak to this from my own personal experience because I remember seeing this in real time with my own two eyes. But I do very vividly remember, like, as soon as Megan's tickets went on sale for her tour, like, hundreds of tickets were popping up on resale websites like Vivid Seats. Yeah, they were selling out on Ticketmaster, but they were reappearing on the resale website. So a lot of fans were clocking it last year. They were like, something's not right. Because, like I said, a lot of different outlets were reporting that Megan was selling out. So my thing is like, how are you selling out and how are these people reporting that she's selling out, but she has all these tickets coming up on the resale websites? Well, based on this lawsuit filed by the FTC, I mean, that explanation makes sense as to why Megan's tickets would come up on resale websites. So while Megan hasn't been named explicitly in this lawsuit as of yet, I'm still going to be keeping a close eye on this situation because I believe that the FTC has way more information than what they're letting on. And I feel like them putting Beyonce's name in that lawsuit and that article being published to, what is it, Rolling Stone? I just feel like that was low key their way of putting both of them on notice. So what I need people to understand is that if it is true that Beyonce or someone on her team was botting ticket sales, baby, that is fraud on a very grand scale. You cannot do that. That is a crime. And if it's true that they were committing fraud intentionally, somebody is going to be in a lot of trouble with the feds. So this is not something that I believe should be taken lightly. And it's kind of disappointing that more people aren't talking about this because this is a very big deal. I don't see anything good coming out of this situation. And I worry that the longer this lawsuit goes on, the more information that's going to come out specifically on Jay-Z and Beyonce. I think there's more information in the tuck and they're just not saying everything right now. But trust and believe, as this goes on, I think some more things will start to come out. So that's why I'm saying I really hope that this fraud thing isn't true. But unfortunately, if the Federal Trade Commission already said it, then that means they know it's true. They have the evidence, they have what they need, they know it's the truth. So I don't think there's any way of getting out of this for either one of them. I think right now it's just a matter of what else they plan on putting in that lawsuit and what else becomes public. So, like I said, I will be keeping an eye on this situation. And this kind of is coming after the news about the casino bid being denied. If you didn't know, Jay-Z, his bid that he had for putting the casino in Times Square was shot down. It was denied. So I know Rock Nation, they were pretty upset about that. But I just feel like, this lawsuit filed by the FTC, then you got the casino got turned down. I just feel like it hasn't really been a great week for Jay-Z and Rock Nation. But I don't know. I'll just have to keep my ears to the streets and see what other developments come from this, because I definitely will be reporting more on this situation here. I will be talking about this lawsuit filed by the FTC. So I just wanted to thank you for watching, and just let me know what you think in the comment section. I really want to know what your opinion is. And I've been really busy with school and everything, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more consistent with my uploads. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.